Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will discuss about addition rule of probability and multiplication rule of probability. So first let's start off with the addition rule of probability. To understand addition rule of probability, we need to first understand what is mutually exclusive events and non-mutually exclusive events. Here on the left hand side you can see there are two events and they don't have anything in common. So these are called as mutually exclusive events. And on the right hand side you can see that there are two events and they have some intersections, so these are called as non-mutually exclusive events. Now let me first show you the formula for both of these cases, and then we will take examples and we will understand them intuitively. So when we want to find a probability of event A or B happening and also our events are mutually exclusive, we can simply say probability of A plus probability of B, and this will give us the answer. But in case of mutually exclusive events, we will have to subtract this intersection part, because if we simply do probability of A plus probability of B, this particular part will be counted twice. So because of that we will have to subtract this particular intersection. Now first let's take an example of mutually exclusive events. So we want to find a probability of rolling 2 or 3 when a die is rolled. So you can see that only one single die is being rolled, and either 2 will occur or 3 will occur. They both can't occur at the same time. So because of that we will consider this as mutually exclusive events. And what will be the probability of getting 2? So here we have 1 2 3 4 5 6, so total possible outcomes are 6, and we want to find a probability of 2 or 3. So the probability of getting 2 will be 1 by 6, and same for 3, it will be 1 by 6. So if we simply do 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6, we will get 2 by 6, and this is nothing but 1 by 3. So this will be our probability of getting 2 or 3. Now let's take an example of non-mutually exclusive events. So in this example we want to find a probability of rolling an even number or a number which is greater than 3. So in this case you can see that we have again 1 2 3 4 5 6. So all the possible even numbers are 2 4 and 6, and also we want to see a probability of number greater than 3. So you can see that these two are the intersection. So now how will we do that? So we will do probability of A or B. Let's say A will be green color and B is red color. So probability of getting an even number will be 1 by 2, because we have 3 even numbers and we have total of 6. That is going to give us 1 by 2. And if you want to find a probability of getting number greater than 3, again that is 3, and total outcome is 6. So again this will become 1 by 2. Now we will have to subtract these two. So this will become 2 by 6. So this will give us 1 minus 1 by 3, which is 2 by 3. So this is rule of addition in probability. Now let's move on to rule of multiplication. To understand rule of multiplication, we first need to understand independent and dependent events. So as the name suggests, independent events are events which does not depend on each other, whereas dependent events are events which depends on each other. So the one outcome will depend on the outcome of the previous event. So first let's take an example, or let me first show you the formula for both of these cases, and then we will move on to the examples, and that will make things much more clear to you. So from the formula, the first thing that you will see is, now we use multiplication rule when we want to use AND. So if we want to find the probability of A and B, we use multiplication rule, and in the previous slide we saw that when we want to find A or B, we use addition rule. Now when we have independent events, we can simply do probability of A into probability of B. But when we have dependent events, we do probability of A into probability of B given A. So this might not be clear if you're very new to it, but when I will give you an example, it will be much more clear to you. So now let's look at some of the examples. The example for independent event can be flipping a coin twice, and we want to find a probability of getting two heads. So no matter how many number of times we flip a coin, the chances of occurring head or tail will be independent to each other. So this is the example of independent events. Now let's try to find what will be the probability of getting two heads. So first let's try to find it in a way that we have already seen before. So head head, tail head, head tail, tail tail. So now these are the total possible outcomes, and we want to find two heads. So this is the one. So we can do that by 1 divided by 4. So this should be our probability. Now we will try to use rule of multiplication, and we will see how we can find that. So probability of getting head and head will be again probability of head into probability of head. Getting a probability of head will be 1 by 2 and again 1 by 2. So this will become 1 by 4. So you can see the answers are same obviously. And this is how you can use rule of multiplication in independent events. Now let's take an example for dependent events and understand that, because that is a little bit more tricky. So for this example, we have a bag in which we have 3 green balls and 2 red balls, and we want to find a probability of getting red ball on the second draw, given that green ball was drawn on the first draw and we are doing it without replacement. So you see that if we take out one ball on the first draw, in the second case when we will want to find the probability of red, there will be less number of balls as compared to what it was in the first case. So that's why the ball which we will draw in the second trial will depend on which type of ball we have found in the first try. So let's try to find the answer for this particular question. So we want to find a probability of green and red. So in this case, the probability of getting a green on the first try will be 3 by 5. Now that we have drawn one ball and that is green, we know that. So this ball is not there. So now we have total of 4 balls, out of which we have 2 red balls. So this will become 3 by 5, 1 by 2, or 3 by 10, or 0.3. So this is how you can find. Now if we again try to find a probability of, let's say, green ball on the both tries. So this time we will have P of green and green. So on first try again it will be 3 by 5, and on the second try now we have 4 balls and now we have 2 greens. The probability will again be same. We'll take one last question, which will be probability of getting red and red. So in this case we will find probability of getting red on the first try, which will be 2 by 5, and on the second we will have 1 by 4. So this will be 1 divided by 10, 0.1. So this is rule of multiplication. I hope things are much more clear now, and if you have to find probabilities using rule of addition and rule of multiplication, you will be able to do it now. And in the next video we will see Bayes theorem, which is a very important theorem. So in the next one, happy learning.